Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Spear Garden Live today. Good morning if you are watching it from Hong Kong or in Australia. Today we are going to have a 10 race card at Sha Tin. There will be a feature race which will be the first leg of the Triple Crown, and it is the Stewards Cup in race number 7. But before talking about that, this time Joshua, Nathan and myself will be talking about our races before the Group 1. So this time maybe let us start with Nathan first. Morning, Nathan. Which race you are going to talk about?
Yes, good morning, Shireen. Good morning, Reedy, and everyone listening and or watching at home. Appreciate your company on what is going to be an awesome day of racing at Sha Tin.
Hmm.
Going to kick things off at race number 3 on the program. Looks like a bit of a match race, and the market tends to agree. We've got Kaying Rising v Wonder Bar. I've gone with the former. This is a class for over 1,200 metres, this event, and they met each other last start, so it's clearly easy to tie in their form to each other. Kaying Rising looked like he got the nose down, but he actually just got nosed out by Wonderbar on that occasion. Zach Purton taking the ride on Kaying Rising. He got a little bit, he sort of sat midfield from gate 2 on that occasion, and I feel like it was a race that just had an abundance of speed in it, and things just didn't work out for Kaying Rising on that occasion. Now he draws gate 10 this time, but does get a little bit of a weight swing, a 3 pound weight swing on his key rival from last start. And gate 10 is a bit of a query, but I think you're looking at this race, there doesn't look to be an abundance of speed. And I expect Zach Purton to go forward here on the David Hayes trained galloper, like he did first up when he beat Strathpepper. He just sat outside the leader and was able to prove too classy on that occasion, went on to beat that horse quite convincingly. Obviously went up in grade since, and I thought his last start effort had a lot of merit. He chased gamely, couldn't quite get Wonderbar on the line, but I love the way he loomed up. He looked like he wanted to go past, but couldn't quite get the head down. Wonderbar just got every favour there up on the inside. They're the two that obviously kick off the play. But I've just lent in Kaying Rising's favour in terms of the banker. Wonderbar from gate 2. He gets every chance once again. Doesn't get too hampered by the handicapper either. Only cops 3 kilos for that victory last start. And he was very, very impressive. There's no doubt about that. So the fact that he's come up at a bigger price slightly than Kaying Rising, I understand, just with the swing and the weights. But he does get a lovely run in transit, so expect him to be finishing off well as well. The one that I've chucked in the play to try and get a little bit of value out of it is actually number 3 here, Kaima. Now, second up now for the Mark Newnham camp in Hong Kong. He was over here in Australia previously. Only had 3 runs here in Australia, but every time he stepped out, he looked like he was really starting to put in the big strides late. He was first up over 1,200 metres at Rose Hill, second up to the 14, and then third up. Both occasions he ran into the minor money, and he ran into some okay horses. We ran around Benchmark 72 company. Rate's okay at this grade over in Hong Kong. I guess my query would be 1,200 metres here, second up. I thought his first up run had a lot of merit, though, behind Northern Beaches. I was on him that day. I made him a value runner on that program back on the 26th of December on Boxing Day. And I thought he actually was savaging the line quite nicely, considering at the jump he just got absolutely poleaxed, and it spelt the end for his chances, this son of Sione. Looks like a nice progressive type, though. He's only had 11 starts as a 4-year-old. He's had 2 wins and 4 minor placings. And you go back to his European form, it reads okay as well. So he got up to listed company, and he's placed at stakes level. So I think he's a nice enough horse, and he's got some a nice profile coming into this race second up. He's never performed second up, so he might want one more run before we really try and back him. But I think at the quote, you're getting around $12. If you wanted one at a bit of value to chuck in your play, or just maybe a bet outside the favoured horses, Kaim is the one I want to have a look at. But those were the main 3 for me in that race. I do think it's a little bit of a match race between Wonderbar and Kaying Rising. But from gate 10, I expect Purton to sort of dictate terms, try and jump, cross to the front. And from there, I think Kaying Rising's the one to beat. So I made it my banker, obviously, with Wonderbar and Kaim to kick off our show with race number 3.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to race number 3 because the 2 3-year-olds in this field, number 2 Wonderbar and number 4 Kaying Risings, they formed the Quinella last time out over this course and distance, and now the winner was Wonderbar, and this time he needs to carry 129. But James McDonald will be on board again. It is good to see that, and interesting to see this expected leader gets the good draw gates number 2, so maybe he will be leading at the rail while while Kaying Rising from gate number 10 will be outside him. He will also be leading, but 7 pounds less than Wonderbar. I think these 2 horses are really hard to beat. So I also think that they are very likely to form another Quinella again later in the afternoon at Sha Tin. And the other runners here, yeah, right. Kaima, he was not breaking well last time out over the straight course, and this time a longer distance for him, 1200 meters, should be a better one, I believe. But for the other runners here, I think the class dropper number one, I'm a single man, is quite interesting because it has been more than 2 seasons since his last time running at class 3. So this horse has a 6-year-old, not really good form this season, but he was racing at class 1 and class 2, but this time class 3, so maybe he is classy enough in a class drop. So I'm quite looking forward to him to run well. But yeah, definitely a good race to watch. Should be a big competition between Wonderbar and Kayin Rising. And Joshua, what do you think? Race number 3, who do you like more?
Yeah, good morning to you both. Good morning to everyone listening. Yeah, look, you guys have preached to the choir, and I think Nathan's nailed it on the head with the top three. I had Kayin Rising on top over Wonderbar. Just couldn't play the race the way the Ausbooks come up with the 220 apiece. But since that's happened, Kayin Rising's coming to 210, Wonderbar out to 230. So there's some support for Kayin Rising. I thought that debut was impressive, disposing of some nice horses by 3 lengths. And then he had that ding-dong battle with Wunderbar last start. He does meet him a kilo better, but the draw is going to give Purton a task. Will he slot in? He has to get that best possible, but I reckon they're gonna go forward with him, and that's what I think. That's their only way of winning this. Kayin Rising. He is a talented horse. Wunderbar, 3 wins in a second from his Hong Kong career, and held off, obviously, Kayin Rising last start. Gets a kilo worse off here. But on the positive, he has drawn a lot better, retains James McDonald, so providing a mishap, he's going to go close. Kayima, he's the definite one I want in for third. I know the form guy reads a 4.2 length 9th last start over 1,000 metres, but he has hampered. His race was over around that 400 to 300 metre mark, unfortunately. So I was with him on the day with Purton on. I think he's the improver here. You're getting about $10 on the Australian books, $2.20 for a place for him. And Ready to Win was the other one I liked in for 4th. I know the form doesn't read well for it, but its last start, you forgive, that was behind Wonderby and Kayin Rising. He's $29 at the moment. I think he'll be hitting the line well. I don't think he can trouble these top 2, but he's definite one for your multiples and your first 4s. But Kayin Rising for me on top, followed by Wonderbar and Kayima.
Yeah, lovely. So let me recap race number 3 for Nathan. Banker number 4, Kayin Rising, with selections number 2, Wonderbar, and number 3, Kaima. And after talking about race number 3, it's my turn to talk about race 5, which is a class 4 over 1,400 meters. I'm going to have the John size number 8 Take Action as my banker. And this 3-year-old is quite interesting because he is going to have his second up today at Sha Tin. And last time when he made his Hong Kong debut, John Size decided to race him over 1,400 meters for the first up. And quite interesting to see that son of Sacred Force can handle this distance immediately. So second up this time, I'm expecting this 3-year-old to improve. And before he made his debut last time out earlier in January, he had several good barrier trials at Chong Fa. And last time when he was after breaking from Gate 4, he stayed in the midfield and still kept keeping quite well at the end. So I think 1,400 meters looks a good distance for this 3-year-old. So second up today, a good draw again, and I believe he will be staying in a good position again. And after the race last time out, he was sent to Chong Fa for training, and the horse was still galloping well recently in the morning over there. So I think this 3-year-old will be improved after a race. So this time, hopefully, a good draw for him again. He can show some improvement. So a good price for him, $12 for the win and 3.5 for the place. I think there is a good each way chance for number 8 Take Action in race number 5. So I'm going to have him as my banker. And for my selections, number 2, Compassion Spirits, that he will be ridden by Zach Purton, can't be ruled out because he is doing really well in class Class 4. He's a Class 4, 5-time Class 4 winner. So this time going back to this class should be a better race for him, better company for him. And actually in this season, he had 4 starts over in Class 3, and he was not beaten far. And recently, he had a really impressive barrier trial. So I think he is now ready for racing, and also especially in Class 4, he should be quite competitive. So the top weight 134 pounds is not a big problem for him because he already has so enough experience for carrying a top weight. And always interesting to see Saccharin takes the ride, especially it is a Class 4 company. So I think he is definitely having a good chance to run close. So number 2, Compassion Spirit, will be one of my selections. And for the other one, I'm going to have number 9, Free Fall. Finally, a good draw for him. So hopefully he will take advantage of the gate number 2. And for the map for this race, I think there are not many leaders here. So I think the tempo will be slow or good to slow. So Free Fall from gate 2, he is one of the expected leader here. So maybe he will be beneficial from the slow pace. So I think Free Fall, I think is quite competitive at the current rating of 50, and also a good draw for him, and I hope he will make use of this. So to sum up race number 5, I'm having number 8, Take Action, as the banker, with selections number 2, Compassion Spirit, and number 9, Free Fall. And Nathan, what do you think about race number 5?
Yeah, very intriguing car, no doubt. A very wide open field, and the market agrees. $4.60 the fave on the Hong Kong Jockey Club website. I'm with one of the horses you alluded to, Shireen. I'm with number 2 here, Compassion Spirit. I think this horse sets up really, really nicely. I know he comes back from a 63-day spell, sort of a bit of a let-up, really. But I loved his 2 jump outs leading into this event. And you only have to go have a look at his Class 4 form to see this is where he really likes to peak. You go back to his latest running in this class at Track and Trip. He ran 0.3 of a length away from River Views. He was only beaten narrowly. Thought it was a really terrific effort back last campaign. This campaign, he's just been sticking at the 1,200 metres. And then at his latest run, you go have a look at the form guide. He was beaten 4.5 lengths by Galaxy Patch. Now, that horse, we know, is just a horse on the rise and could be a very nice type moving forward. So that just looks like the right form. He drops back in grade, gets the weight, but does get Zach Purton in the saddle here. Draws gate 6, should get a lovely run in transit. And I love that they've gone straight to the 1,400 metres. They could have started him at 12, but this looks like intent to me at the 1,400 metres. He gets a lovely run, somewhere midfield with cover, and you'd have to imagine he's in the finish somewhere. I think anything $4 and $4 plus here is more than fair for this guy, just based on how he goes in this grade. He's had 7 starts in Class 4 company for 3 wins and another minor placing. So when you want to get on him, this is the time to be to try and get on him here, I believe. And so at the price, I'm happy to have him on top. Outside of that, I thought it was pretty open. Number 3 here, Superb Kid, I thought was a very intriguing runner. Now, he drops in grade as well, gets to the 1,400 for the first time in Hong Kong. He's been okay since his arrival. He was first up down the straight. He was just moderate on that occasion. Then I thought he was a big improver behind Healthy, and he ran into Wonderbar. So, and he wasn't beaten by massive margins. I thought he was okay going through the wire. Gets to the 1,400 metres, and if you go back to his Australian maiden victory, that came over 1,300. So I think the sooner this guy gets out and trip, the better we'll see from this son of Sebring. He's still got a lot of upside. He's only a 4-year-old, so give him some time, and I think he might perform well in a race like this. I think $10 is a fair enough price to find out, though he has SP'd at big odds in his first 3 starts. So a little bit of a query there, but he does drop in grade and gets Hugh Bowman. So he's an interesting runner. Golden Bull, frustrating type, 14 starts without a victory, but you'd have to imagine he's not too far away from picking up the chocolates. Thought he was good last start behind Indeed, and his run prior to that behind Holy Lake rates well as well. And then the other one, I agree, Take Action, I thought was an interesting runner in a race like this. I thought he was okay first up. Ran in behind that Arachne Summit form. There was a bit of an on-speed day, in my opinion, but the win was dominant by the winner, and I thought he was whacking away okay. He ran in 4th on that occasion. He wasn't beaten too far away considering the run, and I do think he's a big improver here second up, so I take your point there, Shireen, with Take Action. Just slightly against Lucky Planet. I understand it was a good last start I just wonder if he wants a class drop here. I know he was good last time. Prior to that, though, I thought he was just even behind Gorgeous Win. Looks like he's obviously a winning hope, and he draws gate 3 to get a perfect run. But I just want to be slightly against him for a horse that at 9 starts is also yet to break his maiden. So a few horses here that are really looking to peak and try and sort of break that duck. But I've landed with Compassion Spirit, and again, what looks like a very, very tough race.
Yeah, right. There are 3 class droppers in this field, and I do think that number 2, Compassion Spirits, looks really competitive here. And Joshua, what do you think? Who is your favorite in race number 5?
Yeah, as you both said, it's a very interesting race. It's interesting to note too that Take Action on the Australian books has been backed into $7 already, Shireen, for opening $10. So, look, it's interesting what Nathan just said about Lucky Planet, and the market agrees with him. Open 348 to 420. I have him on top. I had him in the numbers last start when second to Dream Pursuer. He took the lead around that 300-meter mark. He just couldn't hold off in the last 50. The start prior, I thought, was very good. He was slow out and had to settle near the back of the field, which is not his usual. So he finished off really well into third behind some really nice horses. I thought with the draw today and Karis Teton sticking, I thought he was a solid chance. Sediments, as Nathan said about Golden Bull, like this horse is, he promises the world and delivers an Atlas. His run 2 back was really good. He met a wall in the straight, and he finally got clear 250 out and finished a fast, finishing second behind Holy Lake. And last start was a complete forgive. He was 3 wide, no cover. He's already been declared Aurora, and he was roaring last start. So he still managed 5th, despite being wide in a field of 13. So I thought that was pretty good. And James McDonald jumps back aboard, and hopefully he can find a nice spot from barrier 8. You're getting about 750, 280 the place to find out about him. Totally agree with Compassion Spirit and Satanta. They're the 2 class droppers here. I had Satanta slightly in front of Compassion Spirit, but it turns out the market doesn't, or slightly agrees with me there with Satanta and Compassion Spirit. Satanta has come in a touch, whereas Compassion Spirit has gone out. But they're both in my numbers. So I've got 14, 6, 1 and 2. I'm leaning with Lucky Planet. I think with the draw, I know he hasn't won, but there's a lot of horses here that you're testing the waters with that either haven't won or haven't won in a while. So very intriguing race. But Lucky Planet on the low weight for me, followed by Golden Bull, Satanta and Compassion Spirit.
Yeah, right. Number 14 down the bottom in this field, Lucky Planet, a good draw and a good weight again for him. He should have a good position again here. So let me recap race number 5, quite wide open one. I'm having number 8, Take Action as my banker. And selections, number 2, Compassion Spirit, and number 9, Free Fall. And after talking about race 3 and race 5, it is time for Joshua to talk about the lucky last race number 10, please.
Yeah, race number 10 on the card. The lucky last, as you would like to call it. I landed with number 13, Storm Rider. Very interesting, opening the 440 into 380 on the Australian books. He's had 2 career starts, which started off with a 2.5 length second to Gorgeous Win on International Day. I thought that was good. And then last start, he broke through with that win, 2.75 lengths win over a nice field headed by Telecom Dragon. Much like last start, Zach Purton is going to have to weave some magic to slot in from a poor draw. He will have to carry less weight, though, which is good, up in grade. The form alone sees him going well here, number 13, Storm Rider. So I have him as my banker. My selections in behind, number 2, The Air. Consistency has been this bloke's thing this season, running second, third, and fourth over his last 4 runs. I think the key here is he's finally drawn a nice barrier. He's drawn barrier 1. He gets Hugh Bowman aboard, and he should get his chance to finally get a win this season. He's sticking solid at 320 favourite on the Australian books here. Look, as I said, like he's been hitting the line really, really well, but he finally gets that gate, which is what he's been craving. And the other selection I had, number 10, Lost Child. He's one of my favourites here. I thought he was really, really good 3 back when he won well. It was a forgive run 2 back at Sha Tin, and then last start I thought he was really sorry about that. He that he was really well last start. I thought I'm just re-scrolling on my my thing to get it up. There we go. He was really good behind Global Harmony, 2 lengths behind. He ran home well. I think he just gave too much of a Global Harmony had the good run, and that was James McDonald doing the work there. And I thought he was really well coming with him, but just couldn't match Global Harmony on the day. So I thought he was a nice runner in for third. And then a honourable mention to Armour War Eagle. I think he's been well backed on the tote at the moment. He opened about 750 here in Australia though, and he's out to 850. I thought his debut run in Hong Kong was really, really good, so he goes in for fourth. So I'm starting to mumble now. 13 Storm Rider on top with the Air, and number 10 Lost Child.
Yeah, right. The back of Joshua, number 13, Storm Rider. He's a last-time winner in Class 4, and this time up in class and up in distance. Wide draw for him, but I think there is still a good chance for him carrying a lightweight under Zach Purton. Sorry. And he's quite good, improving 3-year-old. And the other runners here, that the Air, number 2, that Joshua just mentioned, I think this time is a really good chance for him because Gates number 1 should be a really ideal draw for this 4-year-old. And also, he made his Hong Kong debut in mid-November, and he is settling really well here in the new environment in Hong Kong. And the recent 2 starts were over 1,400 meters, and the Air could also finish well with a good turn of foot because he was breaking from some wide draws recently, and he needs to stay in the back and also wide without cover last time out, but a good fourth for him. So this time much more better draw, Gates number 1. I think there's a huge chance for him to improve, or even he is likely to break the maiden tag in Hong Kong. So I'm having the Air number 2 as my top. And the other runners here, I think number 5, Silver Up, this great horse, and had a good third last time out on his second up in Hong Kong. And he is also a back marker here. So he will jump from Gates 10. Not a big concern for me. Hopefully he will stay in a better position. And I think he is also able to run close again. But I think that the Air and also Storm Riders are quite interesting. And of course, Lost Child, good draw again for him. He needs to stay in the midfield and quite consistent results recently. And lightweight for him again, still having quite a good chance. So quite a good race to end the race card in Hong Kong in Sha Tin today. And Nathan, what do you think? Race 10, who's your favorite?
Yeah, I agree. I think it is a really good race to end the card. I think there's some nice progressive types in this one. I landed with Storm Rider as well. I just couldn't get away from that last start victory. Tipped him up that day, and he got absolutely crunched in betting. He ended up jumping $1.80. I got a little bit worried, but he absolutely justified the quote. Jumped from gate 12 on that occasion. He was able to find essentially the 1-1. And he was just far too good. His first up ever had a lot of merit as well behind Gorgeous Win. He was on debut. He got a little bit further back than I think he would have liked. And the winner was really, really good on that occasion. So no knock on that effort at all. And I thought his subsequent win was good enough. Goes up in grade, drops in the weight, and Purton gets the stick. So, look, all things even, I think he can go find a position and be very, very competitive again. I can't not put the Air in for second. I've been with him nearly every start this campaign, and he does actually read very similarly in terms of, ironically, the horse that beat him last time was Blue Marlin. We were saying with that horse, he was just waiting for him to draw a gate. You know, Blue Marlin, I believe he'd drawn like 13, 14, 13 in consecutive runs, and then eventually he drew a nice marble and proved too good last start. And so I think a very similar thing could be argued for the Air. Gets gate 1, gets Hugh Bowman, gets a soft run, and that's the clear danger. I think back them both. I'm going to split my stake on those two and hopefully get a result that way. I think they're the clear 2 progressive types in this field. With a little bit more upside on a few of the key rivals. But I just lent in Storm Rider's camp just on that last start win and the fact that he's been better to me. In for third, I chucked in number 1 here, Armour War Eagle. Now, if he doesn't have a look, if he can replicate that first up effort, he's got to be considered a winning chance. The query is that he jumped at 140 to 1 first up, and now you got to stomach $7. So look, if he can replicate that first up effort, getting to 1,400 meters here, second up, he's got to be a winning hope. It's just whether or not you want to stomach the price. I understand, and a little bit of second up syndrome as well. You just never know how these horses are going to run. We saw last time Midori Burley, who's in this field, second up. He was okay. No knock against him last time against Global Harmony, but the market support was there. He was 63s first up. He was in the $5.80 second up and didn't quite show that electric turn of foot that he did first up. So that's my only concern with the one here, Armour War Eagle, is if he can replicate that effort. If he can, he's a clear winning chance. And at the price, I think he can definitely make any Quinella player mine. But I just thought those top two for me, Storm Rider and also the Air, they were the main two in this last race that I wanted to be with. The Storm Rider, just on what I've seen, I thought his last start win was good, and the Air, based on consistency and now drawing a marble. So the market sort of agrees as well. It's not really sure which way it wants to lean. It's just favouring the Air at the moment, but around the $5 on the tote for Storm Rider, I think he'll get money late. I think they both jump around that $4 mark, and hopefully one of them can get the job done, because that's the way I'm going to be playing the lucky last.
Yeah, some up-and-coming runners here in race number 10. And let me recap for Joshua. Banker will be number 13, Storm Rider, with selections number 2, The Air, and number 10, Lost Child. So as we just mentioned earlier in the live show before, the feature race for the day must be race number 7, the Stewie Cup over 1,600 meters. And in this year, I think there's quite wide open because there is just a field of 8, not many runners here this year. And also Golden 60 and Romantic Warrior are not here. But who is your favorite? Let me ask Joshua first. Joshua, who do you like in the Stewie Cup in race number 7?
Yeah, sorry about that previous race, everyone. Lesson here is have breakfast and don't wait too long to have more food. The feature this afternoon is race number 7. I landed with Voyage Bubble. I think he was no match against a similar field to back when first up. He was 4.5 lengths off Beauty Eternal and Beauty Joy in third. But I think the form that I wanted to go with was the last start Group 1 Hong Kong Mile, where he was second to the best horse in Hong Kong and arguably one of the best horses in the world, Golden 60. James McDonald, nice draw, third up. Should see him secure that Group 1 mile. It's interesting to note, as we've been talking, look, the odds opened up 320 here in Australia, and then he was into 290, which is what I took in the end. I should have taken the 320. And as we've been talking, he went into 250 and now into 240. So the money's coming for him here in Australia, which has seen horses like Beauty Eternal go from 320 out to 380. The other one that I didn't mind was Beauty Joy. He took Beauty Eternal to the wire 3 back when the rider lost the whip, which cost him the race. He ran well in the Hong Kong Mile, I thought, 3.5 lengths back into 5th. And then going back to 1,400 metres last start, he finished well. Back to a mile suits here, and he hopefully might get enough pace in this race to hit the line well. He's at about the $10 mark. Who else did I have? Beauty Eternal in for third. And then Straight Aaron, the honourable mention. I know that Nate's going to make a good case for him. He's open 420 here in Australia, out to 550. I just don't think he's going to match it with someone like with a horse like Voyage Bubble, but stranger things have happened, and I'm interested to hear Nathan's case around that. So Voyage Bubble for me in the Group 1 this afternoon.
Yeah, right. Number 2, Voyage Bubble, breaking from a good draw gauge. Number 3 is now 2.3 as the current favorite here. And Nathan, who's your favorite in the Stewards Cup?
Well, my favourite's Beauty Eternal. I love him, but I've gone with Straight Aaron as really alluded to. I'm a trader. I've sort of. I'm probably, if I'm being completely honest, I'm probably going to try and back both here. I think you're getting a fair price for both. Look, initially though, I've gone with Straight Aaron on top. Look, on face value, I agree with Reedy. I will say this though: if this race was 1,800 meters or 2,000, I think Straight Aaron would probably be around the $3 mark. I think he'd be right in the market. You go have a look at that run behind Romantic Warrior. I mean, he was sensational that day. Vincent Ho's post-race comments really, really stuck with me. He seemed to imply that he thought this horse was a genuine winning hope before getting a bit of a checkered passage in transit. Right, with about 150 metres to go, he claimed that Romantic Warrior sort of moved in on him a little bit, which I think if you watch the replay, there is some merit to that discussion. Do I think he would have won? No, but I do think he was very, very impressive. His win 2 back was sensational when beating Sword Point. Yes, that came over 2,000 metres. And I just think the thing about this guy, he just seems to be improving with every run of the campaign. You go back to first up, he was pretty plain behind Healthy Happy in that small field. But ever since then, he's just been progressively getting better and better. And now I just think he's ready to find that Group 1 success. I think he's ready to do something here. After a nice little tick over trial behind Lucky Sway Ness, he gets a lovely run from gate 1. And the thing that I'm hoping happens is that we get a very genuine tempo. We saw that 2 starts back with California Spangle. A few starts back with California Spangle and also Healthy Happy going hammer and tong with Voyage Bubble. That horse dropped out first up due to fitness, in my opinion. But we saw Beauty Eternal power over the top. And if we get a similar setup to that, I think Straight Aaron's a major player here. I love the drift out to 550. I think he'll probably get out to about $6, maybe even $7 just on the setup. So with the price that you're getting, I just feel like he's got a decent enough setup here to just sit in behind, find the leaders back, and when the race goes on, he might even be a player with a mid-race move here if they want to. I think Vincent Ho has a lot of options from this gate, and if he can get going a long way out, he might play a little game of catch me if he can and try and fight them off at the turn. So it's a really interesting tactical affair, and with those tactics implied, I feel like Straight Aaron just the one that will be missed in the market. And I did say on my podcast that I felt like the $4 would be a big drifter from futures markets after the draw, and that's exactly what's happened. So I'm happy about that. I think around $5.56.
I love that sneaky plug.
No, sneaky plug. Got to throw it out there.
Yeah.
But no, I just think that now we're getting to a price that is more than fair. And I think with the setup he gets, draws a lovely gate. He'll get his chance here, Straight Aaron. He's the one over the odds. Beauty Eternal, I think I've got to have a bet on him. I just think $4, $3.80 as Reedy said on the odds totes. I think that's fair. I think based on his profile, his win two back was good. Yes, Beauty Joy was looking to carve him up late. But I just think he hit the front a little bit too early on that occasion. He just sort of petered out late. He was only second up. He's fourth up now. And I thought he was even in the Hong Kong Mile. He was a little bit disappointing compared to some, but I do think he'll take improvement from that effort. He does draw 8, but I do think he'll get back. And if they run a genuine tempo, he'll be flying over the top. Voyage Bubble, obvious reasons. If he runs that Hong Kong Mile race, he's a fair favourite. And then in for fourth, I put in Beauty Joy as well. So they were the main fourth. And the California Spangle's just a total question mark. If he runs to his best, we know he can win. But just what do you do with him on his last 2 starts, or last 3 starts, really? He's just been very plain, but does get Hugh Bowman on board at a set weights race. You think if he's going to peak, this is his chance. But look, Straight Aaron for me is the main play. Little saver on my horse, Beauty Eternal, in what is a really good edition of the Stewards Cup with no Golden 60, because if he was in here, you'd imagine he'd lap them up. But for now, I'm happy to be a Straight Aaron just at the price.
Yeah, still a good Group 1 to watch without Golden 60 and Romantic Warrior. And there should be some good pace in this race because California Spangle, from a good draw, he always have some good gate speed, and I think he will be the leader at the rail. And also, number 7, Healthy Happy. He is also another likely winner here, likely leader here. So it will not be really slow in the just raise some tempo here. And so Voyage Bubble, he just finished a solid second last time out of the Hong Kong Mile, and he was beaten by Golden 60 by 1.5 length. But at that field, the back marker were more favorable. But Voyage Bubble, he was staying in the front and still keep his speed at the last. So I think it is quite good to see him to return well from some little slightly setback at the end of last season. So there are always some good stories in horse racing that some horses can recover well after some injuries, and Voyage Bubble is one of the recent example. So I hope that this 5-year-old will still be improving. Yeah, at the age of 5, not really old, and I think last time it was really, really impressive. Sorry. So this time James McDonald will be on board again. A good draw for him, a good position is expected for him. So I think he is quite a fair favorite here, 2.3 for the win right now. I think he's the one to beat. And yeah, Nathan just mentioned number 3, Straight Aaron in this race. The tempo will be quite favorable for him, I reckon. And maybe 1,600 meters is not the best distance for him, but the horse is really fit enough. And last time on the HKIR day, he also run well in the Hong Kong Cup. So this time, interesting to see him stepping back to the 1600 meters because there are not many rivals here. And also for the Beauty horses, I will put Beauty Joy slightly in front of Beauty Eternal because a slightly better draw for him, and also he is also having quite a good performance recently in this season. And number one, California Spangle, really interesting. But to be honest, quite disappointed on the recent 3 starts. But maybe this time a Group 1 again, all the horses will be carrying the same weights and good draw, not a big field. I will also give him one more chance to be one of my selections in this race. But for my banker, I'm putting number 2, Voyage Bubble, on the top of my pick. So hopefully there are some good race for this horse, and also hopefully he can win the first Group 1 in Hong Kong in the afternoon at Sha Tin today. So still quite good in this Steelers Cup. Not a big field, just a field of 8, but some horses maybe they will grab this chance to have some good performance without the horse of the year. So we will enjoy it in this afternoon. And also that's all for our preview for today's Sha Tin meeting. Hope you enjoyed our live show today, and we will see you next time in the midweek. And in the coming Wednesday, it will be a Sha Tin meeting. Again, it will be an all-weather night. So we will see you on Wednesday for our preview. Yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.